Hello Longview ISD families, we are very happy to have you with us, and we are excited that you are part of our first session of our financial literacy series called Lobo Strongview. Throughout these following weeks, you will witness several sessions of different financial related topics, and we have partnered with great organizations to deliver this information to you. In this occasion, we partnered with Buckner, and one of their representatives will be sharing this valuable information. So pay close attention and enjoy the session. Thank you so much.
Today we're going to talk about budgeting in our finances. If you don't have enough money, if it's hard to you to make ends meet, it's difficult for you to control where your money goes. That's why we need, if you answer yes to any of these questions, that is why it's important for us to learn how to budget. Today, 66% of people who have income don't make a budget. Not having control over our own money brings us to two different situations. One is that we spend more money than what we make, and the other one is that we use credit cards to pay off our bills by the end of the month. Many people, including those with high incomes, and spend more money than they earn. They have to go into debt to maintain that standard of living that they have, which is beyond their means. In the long run, this practice can lead to obtaining mortgages with very high interest rates and jeopardizing your future income for a lousy credit. There's no income to support. Okay. I have met low-income people who has saved, who usually saves up to 30% of their income monthly because they have order in their finances. I have also met people that have very high income and haven't been able to save even 2% of their income. It's for that reason that budgeting is the backbone of your finances, helping you control your money instead of wondering where it goes. The budget will help you choose where your money has to go. When you have a budget, it will help you build wealth in the long run. Since you have your expenses under control, you will avoid spending more than what you have, which will help you generate the capacity to save and invest your money. Setting financial goals and maintaining a reasonable budget generates happiness, since you will meet these goals through discipline without having to live on credit cards for which you have to pay really high interest. So what is a budget? It's very simple. A budget is a detailed list of your monthly income and your monthly expenses. You can do this by hand, on a piece of paper. You can do this on a computer, on a spreadsheet. You can download different applications that are available either on iPhones or Android phones on your cell phone, and keep track of your income and your expenses there. There are many ways to do this. The best way to do it is the one that fits your necessities the most. An organized budget should be divided into categories. The first one is income. If you look at the board, we have created a budget. This would be different for each family or each person. It just kind of helps us see how a budget should be organized. So the first thing that we need to know is, what is our net income? Net income is the total amount that you get when you get paid. So, without all of the taxes, Medicaid, Social Security that is taken away from your check. So usually, let's say that you make around $3,900 a month, but out of those, you get deducted insurance fees and taxes and all of that. So your net income will be around $3,500. So this is what the budget looks like, and we're gonna go into each category. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we are saving. We need to save anywhere from 5 to 10% of our income. In this budget example, we only did 5%, which would be around $175. And this is a monthly income. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to write down all of our expenses. Everything that we need to pay, any debt, any bills that we have, food, insurance, gas, every money that gets out of our pocket that we have to pay for something that we get in return, you have to write it down. So we have our mortgage or rent, either one, water bill, electricity, internet, cell phone, car note. All of these are what we call fixed expenses. These are expenses that you're gonna have for a long period of time every month. So you need to make sure that you put this first, because it's usually gonna be around the same amount of money that you have to pay per month. So mortgage, we have $700 here, water bill 60, electricity bill, internet, we have $70, your cell phone bill around 100, and your card note around 400. And these amounts might not represent what your budget looks like. It's just so you can get an idea. Make sure that you learn how to categorize your expenses. Like I said, fixed expenses are gonna be expenses that you have on a monthly basis that are gonna be for a long period of time. Regular expenses, those are the ones that we consider food, health insurance or card insurance, gas, any credit card debt that you have, or any loans that you might have, donations, recreation. This includes like going to the movies, going out to eat, dancing, to the club, whatever. This is just like the money that you use to have fun. And then miscellaneous, this could be like, you went to the gas station and you bought a package of gum or a soda or things like that. So regular expenses, some of them are the ones that we are gonna have every month, but they're gonna vary. So for food, food prices go up and down, mainly up, on the monthly basis. So that's why it's good to have like a set amount, but this can vary each month. Insurance, you can always look out for better quotes for different insurance companies so you can get a better price on them. So that's why, sometimes they go up and you have to pay more. So that is why this is kind of like a regular expense. Gas, it depends on each month. There's weeks that you drive more or further away for work or for whatever reason. So this is an amount that is gonna go up and down depending on the usage for that month. Your debt, this is an expense that hopefully you will not have for a long period of time. You wanna make sure that you're paying off your debt as soon as possible so you're not paying a lot of interest. And then donations, this can vary as well. Sometimes you might be able to do more or less for that. Recreation, this one, you have to put it in your budget because we don't want to spend more money than what we have to go out and have fun. And this one kind of like gives you a little bit of a cushion here because you can use that for either one. So then we have what we call seasonal expenses. So seasonal expenses are things that happen a few times a year. We have like Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, and vacations. So what we recommend is if you know that you have that you want to spend around $1,200 a year or a little bit more than that, we recommend that you budget it on your monthly budget. So the way at the end of the year or during Christmas time, you don't take out that credit card and spend more money than what you should. and pay all of those high interest rates on that credit card. So if you budget for it, if you start saving up each month, by the end of the year when you need this money, you will already have it. So that's why we said, like, for Christmas gifts, we'll do around $120 per month. You can do more or less depending on what your income is. The second one, birthday gifts. You know, it depends on how many friends and family you have, how many birthday parties you have per year, things like that. But you want to give yourself a little bit of money here, just in case, you know, you get invited to a party and you want to bring that gift. You have the money. You don't have to use all of it, but at least you will have the money in your budget for whenever you need it. And then vacations, you know, you can save as much money as you want and can. For your vacations, we usually take vacations once or twice a year. So it's good that you manage and budget for this activity with your family. That way, if an opportunity comes for you to go on vacation with your friends or family, you already have this money saved and set aside for that activity. So back again, you don't have to be using that credit card over and over again and paying all those high interest. If you have the money, you don't have to use a credit card, which at the end of it, you will be spending less money because you're not paying on those high interest rates. So let's say that this is what your budget looks like. We have all of those expenses and plus the seasonal expenses that we're budgeting for. And your total income is, your total net income is $3,500, right? On total expenses per month, you're having $3,460, which that gives you $40 that you have left. And this is what we call a surplus. It's always good to have a surplus because then this money can be added to your savings. And when you put money into your savings, it's generating income, it's generating money because you're getting an interest rate by having that money into your bank account. So let's say that this is your budget, but you know, you went over, let's say that gas is like, instead of being $80, it's $180 a month, right? So now you went from having a total expense of $3,500 to $3,600. What's happening is that now you have a deficit. So you owe, or you have $100 minus $100. What this means is that you need to look at your budget and you need to start cutting money off from different parts of your budget to make up for this $100. You don't want to have a deficit. You always want to have a surplus or at least get a zero on your total budget. If you're having $3,500 a month and you're spending $3,500 a month, and you're getting zero, that's good as well, as long as you're having that 5 to 10% on your savings and you're able to pay off all of your expenses and save up for, you know, all of your seasonal expenses as well. But if this is your scenario, this is what is happening in your life or in your financial life, then you need to make changes to this. One of the first things that you can look into your expenses and cut money from is, you know, recreation. Instead of spending $150 a month on recreation, let's move it to $50. You know, this could be something that you do for a short period of time. What about our cell phone? Can I look into a different company that can give me a better price? You know, what about food? Maybe I'm overspending in food. I need to be more careful on what I'm buying, making sure that you still have enough food and, you know, you're getting the amount that you need. But sometimes we overspend on this and we buy more than what we need. So, you know, this is something that you can look up to spend less money per month, so that way you can make up this this money and you're in this position when you're always getting a surplus and not in this position where you are always having a deficit. Because if this happens, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna start using those credit cards. Every time that you're missing money, you're gonna use that credit card. You're gonna use that credit card, and what happened is your debt is gonna go up. Instead of being 150, you're gonna have $300 and then 600. And what's gonna happen? This is gonna go up. Your interest rate is gonna be going up, and you're not gonna have control over your finances. So now that you know what a budget looks like and what is a budget, and you know the categories that you need to have for your budget, remember that this is a monthly budget and it's going to change depending on your income and the expenses that you have per month. So every month, it is very important that every month you make your budget. So let's say that you get paid August the 20th and you get paid monthly. So you're gonna budget that income that you get for the month of August the 20th until September 19th. That is your 31 day month that you're gonna budget this money for. It's also important that you have your budget ready a couple of days before the month comes. That way you know where your money is gonna go. So let's say I get paid on the 20th, I know I'm gonna be getting $3,500 of net income, and I'm gonna start writing down how much is my mortgage, my water, electricity, internet, food, donations, recreation. I'm gonna put all of those categories into my budget, and I'm gonna start putting the money where it needs to go. That way, on the 20th, if I have my budget ready by the 18th, the way on the 20th, when my money gets deposited into my account or I go and cash my check, I know where my money needs to go. I know that I have to pay $700 for my rent, I have to go and pay my $7 bill, and I know how much money I have for recreation or miscellaneous. That way, I do not overspend and I don't get into a situation where I am spending more money than what I'm receiving, and that gets me to a point where I'm generating surplus instead of deficit. And once I'm doing this and I'm having some money extra here, it's gonna go to my savings, which this is gonna be something that is gonna be helpful and important on the long run for your life. This is gonna be something that you're saving for when you retired, for when you might not be able to make this much money per month, and you need to utilize some of this money in the meantime that you come back into your feet and you're able to make that money or a little bit more than that per month. So let's remember that it's very important that you're very organized with your budget and you have a cutoff date. That means that this is the period of time where I'm gonna be getting my money and sending it to where it needs to go. Okay, so now that we have learned what a budget is and we went through what a monthly budget would look like, now we're gonna talk about an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a goal that is important that you set for yourself. Basically, what an emergency fund is an amount that you have into your savings account that is for that emergencies. An emergency could be that your computer broke down and you need it for school, your car broke down and you need to fix it in order to go to work, your glasses broke, and you need to fix those. So everything that it is an emergency. Emergencies are something that is unforeseen, a thing that you didn't plan for it, but you need the money to fix it. And why it's important to have an emergency fund is because if you don't have this money to fix that situation, then you're gonna have to go into asking for a loan or getting a credit card to pay for that. And in the long run, you're gonna be paying more money for that specific emergency if than what you would have paid if you have that money already in your savings account. So where does this money come from? The emergency fund money is $1,000, which is the minimum amount that we'd like people to start with. We usually think that it's good to have it within a month. If you don't have it within a month, that's fine. But the sooner you get to this goal, the better. So let's say that you're planning on having your emergency fund for $1,000. Where is this money coming from? So if you remembered when we did our budget, we are saving anywhere from 5 to 10% of our net income into our savings account. In this particular scenario, it's $175 a month. It could be more, it could be less, it depends on your income. So this money is gonna be put into our savings account until we reach this first goal, which is $1,000. And like I said, this is the smallest emergency fund that we think people should have for those emergencies. Okay, so once you reach this goal of $1,000 and you have this money still, if you use it, you have to replace it as soon as possible. Remember that this is your first goal and you should always have this amount in your savings account. But once you have reached this amount, then you're gonna keep on saving. It's not like you're gonna go spend the money from your savings or not save anymore. So keep that savings happening for your next goal, which your next goal is gonna be to set up your monthly income for 3 to 6 months. So, the next goal that you have is to generate an emergency fund or generate the amount that you would need to survive anywhere from 3 to 6 months in case of an emergency. So in this case, and based in this scenario, it would be around $21,000 that you would make in the 3 to 6 months, having a net income of $3,500 a month. So what this money means, or what this money is for, is in case a bigger emergency happens. So we talked about the minimum one, which is like a computer, or your car broke down, or your glasses. But then, big emergencies can happen as well. Like you get sick and you're not able to work, or you just lose your job, and in the meantime, you have to survive. In the meantime, you have to still pay your bills, you still have to pay your car note, you still have to pay your rent. So we wanna make sure that you have this money saved up in case those emergency happens. So once you have this money, or while you're saving for this money to be available for you, you need to start thinking, where do I need to take this money? So this money is gonna go into investment accounts. And this, depending on the bank that you bank with, it could be that you need like anywhere from $500 to $5,000 to open an investment account. But what this account does is generating new money. So they're using your money that you have saved up in your investment account to create more money, and you get a percentage of that money that the bank created. And that's how your money is creating more money for you. And then if you have your money into an investment account, you still have access to it for an emergency or if you ever need it. This money is just in case if we need it. You might not need it, and I wish that you don't, but if you do, that's why you need to have it, because you never know what could happen. So that's basically 2 of the goals that we like to talk about that people should have into their financial lives, which creates stability. And if you have stability, you're gonna feel better about your finances. If you have control of them, you're gonna feel better about your life.
Well, that was it for our first session. Thank you so much once again to Buckner and to all their staff for volunteering and partnering with us to deliver valuable information to our families. We thank you for being a part of this first session, and we would like to invite you to continue watching the following sessions. Remember, these are going to be posted on a weekly basis, and we hope that you get the best out of this great financial literacy online conference that we are bringing to you. So thank you very much, and go Lobos.